It becomes a chain. If you want to destroy negative thoughts, you must stop treating them like sacred messages. A thought is not a command. A feeling is not a law. A memory is not a sentence. A fear is not a prophecy. The mind produces noise the way fire produces smoke. You do not worship the smoke. You observe it, understand its source, and refuse to choke on it. The first brutal rule is this: do not believe a thought just because it is loud. The loudest thought is often the most frightened one. It screams because it has no truth, only force. It pushes because it cannot guide. It threatens because it cannot teach. When a thought says, "You are worthless," do not fall to the ground and accept the verdict. Ask it, what are you trying to protect? What are you hiding? What action do you demand from me? If the answer is shame, paralysis, revenge, escape, or self-destruction, then the thought is not your master. It is an intruder wearing your face. A disciplined person does not let every visitor enter the temple. You would not allow a thief to walk into your home, open your cupboards, lie in your bed, and call himself family. But you allow one dark thought to enter your mind and steal your courage for the whole day. Why? Because you have never trained the gatekeeper. Become the gatekeeper. When the thought comes, stand still inside yourself. Do not chase it. Do not fight it like a fool. Do not build a story around it. Look at it. Name it. This is fear. This is comparison. This is shame. This is anger trying to become identity. Naming a thing takes away half of its magic. Darkness wants to remain vague. Once you see it clearly, it loses the power to pretend it is everything. You must learn the difference between a thought that corrects you and a thought that crushes you. Correction says, you were wrong, repair it. Crushing says, you are wrong, disappear. Correction says, you need discipline. Crushing says, you are hopeless. Correction says, apologize. Crushing says, hate yourself. Listen to correction, reject crushing. One is a teacher, the other is poison. The second brutal rule is this: stop worshiping your emotions. Your feelings are real, but they are not always wise. Anger feels powerful, but it can make you weak. Fear feels protective, but it can make you a prisoner. Sadness feels deep, but it can become a cave where you hide from responsibility. Desire feels urgent, but urgency is not truth. Shame feels final, but shame often lies with confidence. If you obey every emotion, you are not sensitive. You are enslaved. A child follows every feeling. A trained human feels everything and still chooses. This is the difference between being alive and being ruled. When anger rises, feel the heat, but do not give it your tongue. When fear rises, feel the trembling, but do not give it your feet. When sadness rises, feel the weight, but do not give it your whole future. When desire rises, feel the pull, but do not hand it your values. You keep saying, I could not control myself. Be honest. You practiced not controlling yourself. You practiced reacting. You practiced quitting. You practiced scrolling when lonely, attacking when hurt, hiding when afraid, delaying when tired. What is practiced becomes easy. This is not an insult. It is the door. If reaction can be trained, restraint can be trained. If fear can be trained, courage can be trained. If weakness can be repeated, strength can be repeated. Do not wait until you feel calm before you act with discipline. Acting with discipline is how calm is built. Do not wait until you feel confident before you move. Movement builds confidence. Do not wait until your mind becomes clean before you live cleanly. Clean action washes the mind. Your feelings are weather. Your values must be mountains. Rain touches the mountain, but it does not move it. Wind strikes the mountain, but it does not command it. Clouds hide the mountain, but they do not erase it. Decide what your mountain is. Decide before the storm comes. Decide when you are clear so that when emotion arrives, you are not bargaining with darkness. Say to yourself, I will not speak poison because I am angry. I will not betray my future because I am tired. I will not return to what damages me because I am lonely. I will not turn one bad moment into a destroyed day. I will not let a temporary feeling make a permanent decision. This is not softness. This is war without noise. The third brutal rule is this: remove the pleasure from self-pity. Self-pity is dangerous because it comforts you while it weakens you. It sits beside you and says, poor you, nobody understands. Life was unfair. Stay here. Do not try. Do not risk. Repeat the story of how they hurt you. It feels like compassion, but it is a sweet poison. Real compassion gives you strength to stand. Self-pity gives you permission to rot. Your pain deserves respect, but it does not deserve a throne. Yes, you were hurt. Yes, someone betrayed you. Yes, you failed. Yes, life may have been unfair. But now what? Will you spend the next 10 years proving that the wound was real? Or will you become so disciplined that the wound no longer commands your character? A scar can be a teacher, but only if you stop reopening it for attention. Some people do not want healing yet. They want witnesses. They want the world to gather around the wound and agree that they had a reason to stop living fully. But witnesses are not freedom. Sympathy is not transformation. If your suffering becomes your identity, you will defend it whenever discipline tries to free you. This is the hard truth. Your past may explain your pain, but it cannot be allowed to excuse your self-destruction. The negative mind loves the sentence, because this happened, I cannot. Because I was rejected, I cannot trust. Because I failed, I cannot begin. Because I was embarrassed, I cannot be seen. Because they left, I cannot love. Because life was hard, I cannot become disciplined. This sentence must die. It with this. Because this happened, I must become more awake. Because they left, I must stop abandoning myself. Because I failed, I must learn the method. Because I was embarrassed, I must grow humility. Because I was rejected, I must know my worth without begging. Because life was hard, I must become harder to break and softer in the heart. Pain without responsibility becomes bitterness. Pain with responsibility becomes wisdom. Do not romanticize suffering. Suffering alone does not make you deep. Many people suffer and become cruel, jealous, lazy, suspicious, and afraid. Suffering only becomes wisdom when you digest it through honesty and action. Otherwise, it becomes a swamp. And you call the swamp your personality. When self-pity starts singing, do not dance with it. Stand up, wash your face, clean one thing, train one movement, finish one task, make one honest choice. The mind that wants to drown in the story must be pulled into action. Action is disrespectful to self-pity, and this is why action heals. The fourth brutal rule is this: move the body before the mind becomes a prison. A toxic mind loves an inactive body. It loves the dark room, the closed curtain, the phone in the hand, the bent spine, the shallow breath, the messy bed, the skipped meal, the late night. It loves when you sit for hours thinking about life, but doing nothing with life. It loves when your energy has no direction, because unused energy turns into anxiety. Many people call it overthinking. Often it is trapped energy. Move. Do not wait for motivation. Motivation is a guest, not a foundation. Stand up, walk, stretch, train, clean, breathe deeply. Put your hands into useful work. Return to the body because the body lives in the present. The mind can run to regret and fear, but the body can only touch now. Use that doorway. One honest movement can interrupt 10 dark thoughts. One completed task can challenge the voice that calls you useless. One disciplined breath can stop anger from becoming damage. One cleaned room can tell the nervous system, order is possible. Do not mock simple actions. Weak people mock simple actions because they are addicted to dramatic fantasies. They want transformation, but they disrespect the small gates that lead to it. You want confidence? Keep one promise. You want clarity? Remove one distraction. You want peace? Control one breath. You want strength? Finish one difficult thing while your mood complains. The mind respects evidence. Give it evidence. Do not stand in front of a mirror saying, I am strong, while your habits prove the opposite. Do not say, I am focused, while your attention is scattered across every useless noise. Do not say, I respect myself, while you feed your body poison, your mind garbage, and your spirit chaos. The mind knows when your words are empty. This is why affirmations often fail. The words say one thing, the life says another. Stop trying to convince yourself with language. Convince yourself with behavior. Command the body to rise. Command the breath to slow. Command the feet to walk. Command the hands to complete. Command the tongue to stay silent when anger wants to speak. Command the eyes to leave what poisons them. Command the room to become cleaner than your mood. This is not punishment. This is returning the kingdom to order. A disciplined body does not solve every wound, but it gives the mind a floor to stand on. Without sleep, food, movement, breath, cleanliness, and routine, your mind will keep collapsing and you will call the collapse mysterious. It is not mysterious. It is neglected. The fifth brutal rule is this: give your life a purpose stronger than your mood. A mind without purpose becomes a playground for negative thoughts. When there is no direction, every small insult becomes important. Every delay becomes tragedy. Every opinion becomes a wound. Every comparison becomes a knife. Every mistake becomes identity. Purpose does not remove pain. It organizes pain. When you know what you serve, you do not stop for every barking dog. When your path is clear, you do not ask every passerby for permission to continue. When your purpose is alive, mood becomes weather again. It may slow you, but it does not own you. Ask yourself honestly, what are your negative thoughts protecting you from? Sometimes they protect you from effort. If you believe you are hopeless, you do not have to try. Sometimes they protect you from risk. If you believe you will fail, you never have to be seen attempting. Sometimes they protect you from responsibility. If everything is someone else's fault, you never have to examine your own habits. Sometimes they protect your ego. If you say the world is blind, you do not need to admit that your work is not yet strong. This is why negative thinking can become addictive. It gives a painful kind of safety. But safety is not the same as life. A seed is safe if it never breaks open, but then it never becomes a tree. A bird is safe if it never leaves the nest, but then the wings become decoration. A person is safe if they never risks failure, but then the soul becomes small. Purpose asks you to break open. Purpose asks you to use the wings. Purpose asks you to be more loyal to growth than comfort. Do not wait for a grand vision before you take responsibility. If you do not know your great purpose, start with the next useful action. Clean what is dirty. Finish what is unfinished. Repair what you damaged. Learn what you lack. Train what is weak. Leave what is poisonous. Serve where you can. Begin where you stand. The path often appears under the feet of the person already walking. If you are angry, your purpose is control. If you are afraid, your purpose is courage. If you are confused, your purpose is clarity. If you are weak, your purpose is training. If you are bitter, your purpose is forgiveness with boundaries. If you are lost, your purpose is the next honest step. Do not wait for the whole mountain to appear. Take the step you can see. These 5 rules are not separate. There are one discipline seen from 5 directions. Examine the thought. Stop worshipping the feeling. Refuse self-pity. Move the body. Return to purpose. Again and again. This is how darkness is starved. The old mind will resist. Do not be surprised. When you stop feeding a pattern, it becomes louder before it becomes weaker. The thought you used to obey will knock harder. The emotion you used to worship will burn hotter. The self-pity you used to enjoy will become more seductive. The laziness you used to excuse will become more clever. This does not mean you are failing. It means the old structure feels threatened. Let it feel threatened. You are not here to keep your weakness comfortable. There will be mornings when your mind says, nothing is changing. Continue. There will be nights when the past returns like a ghost. Continue. There will be moments when anger rises so fast that your mouth wants to become a weapon. Continue in silence. There will be days when loneliness tries to drag you back to people and habits that broke your peace. Continue in self-respect. Continuation is the sword, not excitement, not motivation, not emotional fire that burns for 1 hour and disappears. Continuation, quiet, steady, repeated action. This is what changes the inner world. The river does not cut stone because it is angry. It cuts stone because it continues. Become like that. Every time you observe a negative thought and do not obey it, you create space. The first space is small. The second grows. The 10th begins to feel like choice. The 100th becomes strength. One day the thought still appears, but it no longer sounds like a king. It sounds like an echo. Freedom begins when the old command becomes only an echo. Attention is sacred. Treat it like life because it is life. Not every message needs a response. Not every opinion needs a reaction. Not every memory needs another visit. Not every desire needs satisfaction. Not every fear needs planning. Not every thought needs a conversation. Sometimes the strongest answer is silence plus correct action. But silence alone is not enough if you return to the same unconscious habits. Insight must become behavior. Otherwise, insight becomes entertainment. Many people collect wisdom like ornaments. They listen, nod, feel inspired, and continue exactly as before. This is spiritual laziness. A teaching that does not become action only decorates the ego. Do not collect more words than you are willing to live. Take one rule and practice it today. When a dark thought appears, examine it. When a feeling demands obedience, pause. When self-pity begins its soft song, stand up. When the body is heavy and the mind is rotting, move. When the mood wants to rule, return to purpose. Do this, not once, but repeatedly. Repetition is the language of transformation. You became skilled at worry. Now become skilled at courage. You became skilled at imagining disaster. Now become skilled at preparing calmly. You became skilled at returning to old pain. Now become skilled at returning to the present. You became skilled at abandoning yourself. Now become skilled at loyalty. Do not say, "This is just how I am." That sentence is a grave. Say instead, "This is how I have practiced. Now I will practice differently." Identity is not only discovered, it is trained. Every action is a vote. Every reaction is a vote. Every habit is a vote. Every refusal is a vote. You are always voting for the person you are becoming. When you choose silence instead of insult, you vote for mastery. When you choose training instead of delay, you vote for strength. When you choose truth instead of excuse, you vote for freedom. When you choose patience instead of panic, you vote for dignity. When you choose purpose instead of mood, you vote for the death of your old prison. Do not expect applause. The deepest victories are often invisible. Nobody may see the message you did not send. Nobody may praise the anger you swallowed. Nobody may notice the morning you rose while sadness sat on your chest. Nobody may clap when you refuse the old habit. But the mind sees, the body sees, the spirit sees. Trust is rebuilt in secret. Every kept promise becomes a brick. Every brick becomes a wall. Every wall becomes a fortress. Then, when negative thoughts come, they no longer find an open field. They meet structure. This is why discipline is not punishment. Discipline is protection. It protects your peace from your impulses. It protects your future from your mood. It protects your dignity from your anger. It protects your purpose from your distractions. It protects the person you are becoming from the person you used to be. The world will not become quiet so that you can find peace. People will not become fair so that you can stop being bitter. The past will not change so that you can finally move forward. The future will not become certain so that you can stop feeling fear. Waiting for perfect conditions is another form of surrender. You must train in the conditions you have. Train with fear present. Train with sadness present. Train with doubt present. Train when the mind is messy. Train when the heart is heavy. Train when nobody understands. Train when progress is slow. Train when the old voice says, "This is useless." The voice is not the judge. The practice is the judge. Do not ask for an easy mind. Ask for a trained mind. Do not ask for a painless path. Ask for strong feet. Do not ask for a life without storms. Ask for a spine that does not bend to every wind. When the thought says, "You are not ready," begin unready. When it says, "You are too broken," train broken. When it says, "You are too late," start late. When it says, "You will fail," fail with attention and learn. When it says, "This is too hard," answer, "Hard is the gate." The gate does not open for the person who only wishes. It opens for the person who steps forward while the mind is still afraid. Remember this clearly. Negative thoughts survive on obedience. Starve them with action. They survive on secrecy. Expose them with